Welcome back, friends. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a coin that might be sitting in your wallet, in an old drawer, or maybe inside some forgotten box. You probably think it has no value at all, but in reality, this coin could change your life. And friends, this isn't some movie story. It's a real fact where collectors have spent so much money on simple Washington quarters that you'll be shocked when you hear it, just like you saw in the thumbnail. $11 million. Yes, you heard that right. And to understand this treasure hunt, we're focusing on the 1979 Washington quarter. The journey of the Washington quarter started back in 1930 to when America was celebrating the 200th birth anniversary of its very first president, George Washington. At that time, the US Mint decided that the 25-cent coin should carry Washington's portrait. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, showing Washington's left-facing bust on the obverse and the American eagle on the reverse. From 1930 to 1964, these quarters were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper. Today, those silver quarters are highly collectible, not only for their history but also for their bullion value. But in 1965, a huge change took place when the US Mint stopped producing silver quarters because silver prices were climbing rapidly. After that, quarters were struck with a copper core and nickel cladding, known as copper-nickel clad coins. This change meant that by the time 1979 arrived, billions of clad quarters had already been produced, and among them was the 1979 Washington quarter. On the surface it looks like an ordinary coin, but in reality it can hide treasures collectors dream about. In 1979, the Denver Mint struck nearly 490 million quarters, each carrying the D Mint mark, located to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. These coins weigh 5.67 grams, measure 20.3 millimeters in diameter, and have a reeded edge. With such a huge mintage, you might wonder how a single quarter could ever become valuable. And this is where condition and minting errors make all the difference. In the world of coin collecting, there's one golden rule: condition is king. Two coins from the same year and same mint can have dramatically different values just based on how well they've survived. This is measured through coin grading, a system used by professional companies like PCGS and NGC. Coins are graded on a scale of 1 to 70. Anything below 60 usually means the coin circulated in daily life and shows heavy wear. Grades from 60 to 70 are mint state, meaning uncirculated coins that are preserved with varying degrees of quality. For the 1979 Washington quarter, coins in worn circulated condition are worth face value, just 25 cents. But if a coin is uncirculated and receives a grade of MS63, it might fetch $10 to $20 in MS65 condition, which is gem quality. It could bring $50 to $150, and if you happen to find a superb gem, MS67 example, the value skyrockets, with some selling at auction for $1,500 to $3,000 or more. These high-grade coins are extremely rare because most of the mintage entered circulation and got worn down. The minting process wasn't perfect either, so bag marks, scratches, and weak strikes were common. Only a handful of coins survived with flawless, untouched surfaces, which is why collectors are willing to pay big money. Auction records back this up. APCGS certified 1979 MS67 quarter sold for nearly $2,800, and MS67 examples have pushed estimates of $3,500 and above. To this day, an MS68 has not surfaced, but if it ever does, experts believe it could command $10,000 or even more. That's the background and the first part of the story, but the real excitement begins when we ask, if you have a 1979 Washington quarter in your pocket or coin jar, how can you tell whether it's valuable or just an ordinary coin? The truth is, you have to know where to focus and what details to look for. Let's break it down step by step. First, always check the mint mark. On this coin, the D should appear clear and sharp to the right of Washington's ponytail ribbon. If the mint mark looks weak, filled in, or even doubled from a repunching error, it could mean extra value. Next, take a good look at the overall condition of the coin. Is it shiny and lustrous, or dull and heavily scratched? Are the details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers sharp, or are they worn down smooth? Circulated coins are usually just worth 25 cents, but uncirculated coins with strong eye appeal should definitely be considered for grading. Another thing to watch for is doubling. Some 1979D quarters show doubled die obverse errors, which collectors absolutely love. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and check carefully. Look at the letters in Liberty, at the motto in God We Trust, and at the date 1979 F. You see the numbers or letters appearing doubled. You could be looking at a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Also pay attention to off-center strikes. If a coin wasn't properly centered in the press, part of the design can shift off to one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike and the more of the design that remains visible, the more valuable the coin. A 10% off-center strike might bring $50 to $100, while a 50% off-center strike could easily sell for $500 or more. Then there are clipped planchet errors. These happen when the blank metal disc that becomes a coin is improperly cut, leaving part of the coin missing. If your quarter has a cleanly curved area where the edge looks cut away, it might be a genuine clipped planchet error worth $100 to $300. Die, cracks and cuds are also collectible. When the die used to strike coins develops cracks, it leaves raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin. Small die cracks might be worth $20 to $100, while a large cud error can bring $200 or more. Don't forget the edge. A normal 1979D quarter should have a fully reeded edge, but if the reeding is missing or partially struck, that could indicate another mint error. Weight and composition also matter. A normal 1979D quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If you have a precise scale and the weight is way off, such as 5.0 grams or 6.2 grams, the coin might have been struck on the wrong planchet. In rare cases, quarters have been struck on nickel or even foreign coin blanks, and those errors can be worth thousands of dollars. Strike quality is another factor. Strong, sharp strikes with full detail are prized, while weak strikes are less desirable. If you think you have a coin that's unusual, the smartest move is to send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Professional grading confirms authenticity and condition, and it can multiply the coin's market value because collectors trust certified coins far more. Real auction examples prove just how valuable these errors can be. A 1979D off-center strike quarter sold for around $540. Doubled die obverse variety brought over $1,000 to $100. Clipped planchet error sold for $250. So yes, ordinary looking coins from 1979 can sometimes turn into jackpots. If you're just starting out in coin collecting, here are some tips. Get yourself a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Always check your coins under bright light, tilting them to see the details clearly. Write down anything unusual you notice, the date, the mint mark, the condition, and any odd features. Compare your coins with online resources like PCGS, Coin Facts, or auction archives to see if your coin matches known varieties. And don't forget about storage. Keep your coins safe in cardboard holders or plastic flips, but never use tape or rubber bands because they can damage the metal. Coin collecting today is not just a hobby, it's also an investment. The demand for rare quarters is growing every year, and online auctions have made it possible for collectors all over the world to bid on rare US coins. That means if you have a valuable error coin, its market isn't just limited to the United States, it can attract international buyers as well. So friends, if you have a 1970-90 Washington quarter or any old US coin, here's what you need to do. Check the mint mark and the date. Examine the condition and luster. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, clipped plancets, die cracks, weak strikes, or wrong planchet errors. If it seems unusual, get it graded, store it safely, and remember that every coin can be a hidden treasure. The difference lies in knowledge and in recognizing what others might overlook.